Good afternoon. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for August 30th, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, would you call our next case, please?
In cause number 2020-0D06122, State of Texas versus Dylan Andrew Rivera. Announcement of counsel, please.
Roba King for the state of Texas. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Eric Meza for the defense. Judge, we're ready to proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mesa. And do you recognize your client appearing from the police center?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Rivera, we are scheduled for a plea today. I'm going to be asking you some questions, so I need to swear you in. If you would raise your right hand, please. Sir, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth? I'm sorry? Do you swear, Mr. Rivera? I couldn't hear you. It cut off.
Okay, yes.
Okay, that's better. If you need to, you can put your hand down. Thank you. If you need to get closer, if that's helpful, if you're not comfortable removing your mask, you don't have to. Just if at any point I can't hear you, I will ask you to repeat what you said. And same here. If you don't hear us, let us know, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't too sure if I could take it off to speak or not.
Yeah, I don't know what they tell you there. Like I said, if you need to put it back on, go ahead and do that.
Get closer. Okay.
Yeah, it's just maybe the distance affects the audio coming through clearly. Thank you, Mr. Rivera.
I mean, they can hear me this far, and I'm wearing a mask, so I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get started here. Let's just start all over again. Sir, do you swear or affirm any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth?
Yes.
Okay. Would you state your name and date of birth for the record?
Dylan Andrew Rivera, 11/29/91.
Mr. Rivera, we are scheduled for a plea today. I have plea papers marked as State's Exhibit number 1. Within that document, you're guaranteed certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to trial by jury, the right to counsel, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on your behalf and in your defense. You recall reviewing State's Exhibit number 1 with your attorney and signing that document. I need a verbal answer.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Did you understand everything contained within that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mesa, have you had more than 10 days to prepare a defense in this case?
We have, Your Honor.
And did you explain the plea papers to your client?
We did.
Do you believe he has understood the admonishments, rights, and consequences of giving up these rights by entering his pleas today?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Rivera, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mesa, do you have any reason to believe your client is not presently competent to enter his plea?
None whatsoever, Judge.
Mr. Rivera, have you ever been found incompetent by any court?
Not too sure. I don't
Has
know.
a judge ever or ordered that you were mentally incapable of handling your personal affairs?
Oh, okay, no.
Okay, ever been diagnosed by a doctor or psychiatrist who has found you mentally ill?
No.
Based on your testimony, your attorney's representations, and my observations of you, I'm going to find that you are competent to enter your pleas today. Sir, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Where were you born?
Here in El Paso.
El Paso, Texas?
Yeah.
Okay. The charge against you, you're actually charged by indictment with 2 counts. The first count is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which is a second-degree felony. To that charge, sir, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
Can you repeat that again?
Sure. In count 1, you're charged with the second-degree felony offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. To that charge, sir, what do you have to plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And as to count 2, you were charged with the state jail felony offense of criminal mischief in an amount between $2,500 and $30,000. To that charge, sir, the state jail felony, what is your plea? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you making each of your pleas freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
I will find you are making your pleas freely and voluntarily. Ms. King, would you summarize the evidence, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Were the state to proceed to trial on the indictment, the state would have proven each and every element, the offense charge in every count. Count 1 of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and count 2 of criminal mischief in an amount of $2,500 to and less than $30,000 beyond a reasonable doubt. Your Honor, the defendant is pleading to 7 years deferred on the count 1 of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 2 years of straight probation on count 2. Your Honor, there is a correction on the plea paperwork. I believe it states 10 years deferred, but it's actually 7 years deferred. That is my mistake. With deadly weapon findings and other terms and conditions stated on the state's plea paperwork. And also this is to run with the misdemeanor cause number 2020-0C09403. And at this time, Your Honor, the state moves to admit Exhibit 1 is the state's plea paperwork, Exhibit 2, Article 3914 disclosure, and Exhibit 3 is the indictment.
No objections, Judge.
And I'm sorry, I may have missed it. As to count 2, did we state the 2 for 2 on the state jail felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, so with that change, what I will then ask is for council to amend and sign off on basically just page 9 of the plea paperwork, since we already had one change that needed to be made. Now that we're changing the time, the papers I have reflect 10 years deferred. So if that's the agreement, I need you all to make that amendment and resubmit it as a complete document, please, to the court. Okay, so Mr. Rivera, with that said, the 7 years deferred and then the 2 years straight on the state jail felony, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
I'm not too sure.